Well, hello, hello, hello! We are back again, Three Crones in the Woo-Woo! I am Gayle Nicholson, your metaphysical practitioner woo-woo, with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. Right over here is Krista Ducharme, Dimensional Healing woo-woo. And down below we have an ailing, we're sending her lots of love and chicken soup, Joanne Angel Barry Colon, certified personal trainer with Wholistic Fitness New York. Hi ladies, how you doing? Krista, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good, actually. Overall, it's been, yeah, really uneventful. I really would love to say, hey, I had this adventure, I did this or I did that, but it's very COVID living.
Oh God, please do not make that a marketing tagline. COVID living.
COVID living. I made pumpkin bread. I made spinaco pizza. I feel like I'm cooking. Yeah, it is. It's a lot. Yeah. It rained heavy today, and we had a really. So Joanne, before we went on, was talking about how cold it was yesterday where she is in New York, and we had some of that cold weather here. That Arctic air coming down, and I've noticed that because we live where it's very flat. The Netherlands, if you're not familiar, it's relatively flat here. Yeah, you feel that cold on a totally different level. I was like, well, that's been new. And when they say it's going to be blustery and windy, yeah, they mean it. They really do mean it.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah, but seriously, I'm well and I'm happy for that.
Awesome. Glad to hear
How
it.
are you doing, Gail? We'll go to you next.
Oh well, I'm good. I got in trouble this past week. Um,
Oh, what'd you
yeah,
do?
Bill took the
Yeah.
dog to the vet. She's gained
Mm.
10 pounds. My
Oh,
COVID snack buddy outed me to the vet. So,
oh,
yeah, she doesn't get any more treats, and we have to cut back on the doggy biscuits and stuff. But you know, you know. But then I say all that as if I didn't do a seven-figure sunrise summit for 7 days straight this week and completely run myself to the end of the world.
See, and that's what I was thinking that you were actually going to say. Is that yes? What was your takeaway with doing 7 days of a seven-figure summit?
I am no one to be trifled with.
oh,
There you go.
we we
Boom.
we have reattained goddess mode. Yeah. No, honestly, there were a lot of really good learning moments from it. I tend to be one that does her own work, right? It's difficult for me to delegate out, and
Mhm.
when I do delegate out to people, I
Mhm.
background I expect them, and this is horrible, but this is me being honest, okay?
Mhm.
I have such a sense of low self-esteem that I expect people to at the very least operate at the level that I operate at. And if they don't, I I hate being a nag. I don't go after, I don't do the whole have you cleaned your room yet thing. No.
Oh, you
I'm
need a
not
pit bull in your life.
yeah, I don't want to be that. So when I hand something
Calming.
off to somebody, I don't necessarily like peek in all the time, and maybe I should do that a little bit more,
Mhm.
especially with people that you don't know their working style yet. So,
Mhm.
there were some really good learning moments on where I need to step up and where I need to step back, because with me being that one that does everything all herself,
Mhm.
like I'm doing way too much of stuff that doesn't even get used. So yeah,
Oh,
there's a lot of stuff there that I learned. Marketing has to go out way earlier than it did. But I'll
yeah.
tell you something. I don't care how many people show up. If you
Yep.
deliver what you promised to deliver,
Mhm.
all kinds of possibilities open up. Even if it's just for one person, right? If
Mhm.
you have the integrity to deliver on what you promise that you're going to deliver, that it makes magic. So I'm really, really grateful for all of the components that came in to bear on the event. Rob Garcia at Design Your Paycheck, constantly, gently nudging me further along. No, you can't jump off the cliff today. We need to do this.
Yeah, he's good for that.
He's
He's
really
good
good
for
for that.
Yeah.
Lauren Harris that did all of our video promotional stuff and is still working on the sponsors evergreen commercials for them to just take as a souvenir of sponsoring the event and spread out in the world. He's still working on that. Nick Valentine over at Combat Boxes with Operation Phantom Support. So far, we've raised about $450 in direct donations to them. And we didn't lose money on the event. So comparing to many of the large conference room events that I've thrown in the past, in pre-COVID world, this was a huge success because most of the time you go into those expecting to lose money. It's more of a party that you throw than a money maker, right? So we made money on this, and I'm very, very happy with how it came out. So
Awesome.
yeah, that was my week. And tomorrow I am taking the day off and I am driving to Quartzsite and I am going to go play with all the rocks and crystals and fairies and magical beings that are out there. I'm hoping that there will be a contingent there. What generally happens is there's an RV town that arises out of nowhere in Quartzsite in January. And it's all of the crystal wholesalers that are coming into Tucson for the Gem and Mineral Show, right? So they kind of pre-stage in Quartzsite before going down there. So you can get some really, really good deals there on some really nice rocks.
Well, let me tell you, I'm awake when you're there. By all means,
Okay.
Send me pictures.
Yes.
Because you never know, I might need something.
There you go. There you go. So that's
I have
going to
PayPal.
be okay. Cool. Yeah, I will FaceTime you, and we'll be, walking around going, "Will you like this one? You like this one?" Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So,
excellent.
yeah, that's my downtime. More rocks. Yeah.
There you have it.
There's nothing wrong with more rocks on the downside.
There's
Just
no downside to more rocks ever, unless like you're being pressed to death, like that poor guy in Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But even that was a release for him. He was asking for more weight when he finally expired.
Yeah.
I digress, but it's witchy oriented, so I'm
it is. I was
fair game.
Yeah, fair. It is. I'm actually listening to a really cool witchy book, but we won't go into that right yet because I was going to ask Joanne how her week is going and how she's feeling today. Well, we know that she isn't feeling well, but.
Yes. Well, I mean, I feel well in reference to the process of not being, being healthy. I feel healthy. I'm definitely healthy. That's a good thing. My week's been, what are we on, Tuesday? I had an amazing, like, where are we? What day of the week are we on? Yeah, I had an amazing couple of days, from last week into this week. And then all of a sudden, it's like I always say, it's like I get into this space where I have this high energy constantly, like for give and take like 5-7 days where I got really, really high energy. And all of a sudden I sort of dip. And I think that's where I'm at. I dipped because, I mean, the high energy was very strong and positive, and I've had a lot of great things going on. And then all of a sudden last night come in and I'm like, whoa, what happened? So, but this too shall pass, and give or take, probably within a day or two, hopefully, I'll be feeling my energetic self. Because reality of it all, whether I'm feeling my energetic self or not, I still have to show up.
Yes.
Still have to show up. I have to show up for my clients. I have to show up for my workouts. I have to show up for me. I have to show up, my husband, my daughter. I have to show up. So, yeah. So if I'm not like, this high energetic, animated person, I still show up.
Yes. And that's what makes the magic. And honestly, Joanne, if you hadn't said, you don't show up as, ready to curl up with a cup of chicken noodle soup and a furry animal.
Although I would really like to be right about now. I would have really liked to be in my bed with the blankets over, by my ears, just resting. But I'm not even tired to the point of that. It's not like I'm tired. It's not like I have like body aches or anything. It's just an energetic thing, where it's just low. And this too shall pass. And I just put a whole bunch of peppermint on my head, back of my neck, and I inhaled it as well. So I'm hoping that energetically I'll start to lift. Yep. My workout is done, so that's a plus.
Yay.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. That's good.
I don't have to do that. That's finished, a leg day. Tuesdays are always leg day. So right before I get on the show with you ladies, I do a leg workout, and it's finished. So now I just have 2 more clients to go. But they're later in the day, which is a weird day. But anyway.
So does that make Wednesday always wobble day? I mean, I've heard some horror stories about leg day, and the next day you're just kind of like wobbling.
Let's have leg days like that.
Yeah, see, let me say for me, unfortunately, due to my the stiffness that I do endure, every day is wobble day. So it really has absolutely nothing to do with a leg day, and I can't even say that it gets more emphasized after a leg workout. Every day is sort of like wobble day because my legs are just stiff, and no matter what I do, I put a lot of oils on my hips and everything else. And when my energy goes low like this, which is another reason why it gets to me, is because I feel it in my hips more.
Oh yeah.
My hips are just chatting with me. And again, it's also the collective energy, because when we talk about hips metaphysically, it's about making decisions. And
moving
there's
forward.
a lot of people out there right now that are not really happy with the decisions that are being made. But
yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because I think especially in like Facebook land and stuff, Facebook is trying so hard to not be the Twitter of France, where they go, that riot downtown, they organized it on Twitter, where they're really clamping down on anything that can be seen as the same type of group that visited the Capitol last week. And I'm seeing among my veteran community quite a bit of impact there, where a person is just innocently promoting their business, not saying anything that one would take as a threat, and still getting their site restricted until after the inauguration.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not saying that to badmouth Facebook or anything like that, but it takes me back to what my ex-husband used to say: whatever makes you laugh will make you cry. Too much of anything is not a good thing.
Oh, yeah, well, that's part of life. It's part of life, I forget where I heard this from, but actually now I remember where I heard it from. I think Colette Reed had said this the other day. Life is not all about the excitement and laughter. Life does have the darkness to it, and that's actually the part of the life that we need to endure, because the darkness is where it gets us to the light. So if we all really just want everything to be happy, 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 we're living in a it's not even a fantasy, it's delusion, because life is not about happy all the time. You have to go through the experiences where the lessons are, and sometimes those lessons could be a little icky.
Or painful, or where emotions come through. My daughter and I were just talking about the human experience and how important it is that we experience emotions.
Yes.
And no matter, because she has a tendency, and she's going to love the fact I'm talking about this. I'm going to hear about it later. But she has a tendency to make herself really rigid, because she doesn't want people to see her emotions, and she'll be like, and she'll excuse herself. And I'm like, well, but it's okay to show people your emotions. You're human. You're supposed to show emotions. And
I'm so the opposite of her. It's like my emotions just come right out. It's like literally I wear my emotions right on my sleeve. When things are going on, the tears just roll out. There's just no controlling my tears. It's like someone turns on the water
waterworks. Yeah.
It's like, really? Can we just not do this today?
Yeah.
Can we really not?
For me, I find mine is very situational, and it all ultimately depends on who I'm around, whether or not. But I mean, like Kevin and the kids, and my family, they're like, Krista, you cry tears, of happiness, tears of sadness, tears of laughter. You're always there's, and you're okay with it, except when you go out and you're in public with everybody, it's like you're this totally other person. I'm like, well, yes, I have to be.
Yeah, no, and I'm not that way. I mean, it's one of those things that, yeah, my emotions just show up. I remember when my mom had passed away, and shortly after, and no one ever told me about this part when you have a close death, that you basically will cry, in minutes. So I was in the store, and it was Halloween. It was one of her favorite holidays. And I walked down the Halloween aisle, and I was fine before I went to the store. And as I walked down the Halloween aisle, all of a sudden, the tears just started strolling out my face, out of my eyes. I'm like, okay, so why am I crying? And why am I crying right now? Like, I'm in the store. Like, can we stop? And the more I said, can it stop? The tears just strolled down. I said, okay, I'm just going to have to leave the store now because I can't be in the store like this.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah.
you know what, ladies? We've got something we need to celebrate today.
Yes, we do.
Do you want to announce it, Krista? You can announce it.
Oh, yay! I'm so excited. So we have reached 100 followers, actually. 101 followers.
Yay!
I don't know if you went to check. I did. I am so excited. Getting over that hump, there are mile marks. I mean, it's always so awesome to celebrate. So yeah, I had said on Wednesday when I did a quick video about our giveaway, which we'll announce after. I had said if we hit 100, the person who gets the giveaway gets another prize in it, and it says Sparkle.
I love it. Oh my God, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So I'm really excited, but we had to hit 100 followers. And, well, don't worry, guys. We're going to have goodies for everybody because we're just getting this all started. But for me, I wanted to celebrate.
Absolutely. And that's one spectacular bonus, right?
It is.
But I also put up an announcement that we hit 100 in the Three Crones in the Woo Woo Facebook group. So if our members of the group comment on that post, I'm going to send them out something special just for that 100 member drawing separately. Okay. So make sure that you go and comment on that post, share the group, invite people in. We're having a lot of fun in here, We
are.
Yeah. And we'll put you in for that drawing. Now, should we announce the last week's winner now, or should we make them wait till the end of the show?
Oh, let's make them wait.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm on board.
We'll make them wait. Yeah. This week, though, we won't forget.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Krista, you won't let us forget. You reminded Gayle last week. So
yes, that's right.
Well, I love giving gifts, so I get excited giving things to people. I really do. I love, and especially since it's crystals and it's sitting right here.
Yay.
I'm so excited.
Awesome. Oh, and let's see. I sent out the 2 weeks ago prize to Tracy Paquin. I believe it was Friday or Saturday, so you should be receiving that hopefully today. Do me a favor, if you would, Tracy, if you hear this, please take a picture of you with the book and put it in the group. All right, so everybody knows we actually are delivering these out to people. All right.
We aren't just making it up.
Right? All right, Joanne, are you ready for your weekly Guide to Galactic Empowerment report?
I sure am. As I was saying earlier regarding our moon for today, because I always look to see where our moon is. And specifically today, I looked to see where it was because I was going to hopefully blame the moon. Yes, I was going to blame the moon on why I was feeling, why I was feeling what I was feeling. But when I looked the moon up and I'm like, oh, the moon is not in the water sign, because I actually thought it was in Pisces at this point, but that was a day ago. So we're not in Pisces anymore. So it doesn't give me the excuse to say, well, there's the reason why I'm just this emotional. And it's not even emotional, it's just tired.
Yeah.
So so moon is an Aries energy, which is so funny because Aries energy is actually a fire energy. So theoretically, this would be a day I would have a lot of energy and roaring to go.
Yeah.
And on top of it being the moon being in Aries, it's Tuesday, which means it's Tuesday Mars Day. So another reason why I should have so much energy because of Mars energy. So what the hell?
Right.
Yeah, so it's just like I cannot blame our planets for any of this, but what I can blame is the collective energy. You people, you people out there watching, you need to start working on your energies and getting those energies up because each and every one of us are feeling it, especially me. So I'm asking you to do your job. Do your job and raise your vibration and start focusing on the things you want to see take place in our world, as opposed to focusing on what you don't want to take place. So I can start to feel better. So I'm going to place blame on all of you guys with our energy.
It's because all our fault.
Yes, exactly. Not the three of us, but the collective. Everybody else out there,
Well, we are part of the collective, but y'all know we can't do this love and above vibe on our own. We need some help.
Exactly. And when we think about the additional energy we have coming in, which again, another reason to be in a really high energy is because currently we have today's the 19th. So currently we have, I think it's 4 planets. Yeah, 4 planets in Aquarius energy. And as of tomorrow, there'll be 5. So that itself is an amazing thing. But again, when you think about Aquarius energy, Aquarius is all about thinking, evaluating, analyzing. So it definitely makes sense to why. Now I'm going to bring back, notice this is what I do, guys, is I bring it back to myself. And I recognize that, yes, I'm in my head. Over the last, give and take, 72 hours, there's been some things I've been doing behind the scenes that has gotten me in a place where I'm reflecting on some things that took place in my life when I was in my 20s. And here I am in my 50s. And I'm like, wow, things are a little different from then to now. So so I'm in my head and doing a lot of working on self-confidence is, I guess, the best thing I can say at this point. And so with those planets all in Aquarius energy, it is going to get us to the point where thinking a lot, emotional thinking, because just to recap on the planets, we have the moon that is in Aquarius, theoretically speaking. We have Jupiter and Saturn, which actually went into Aquarius at the exact same time, which is really big.
Yeah.
So if you had a chance or didn't have a chance, just to give myself a plug, to watch my TV show, you'd find out that information on my show. We'll talk about that later. And then you also have, let me see what the other one. So Jupiter, Saturn, and as of tomorrow, we're going to have the sun in Aquarius. And then to follow, we'll have Venus going into Aquarius on February 1st. I am missing a freaking planet. I cannot for the life of me remember what it is because there's 7 planets going retrograde. And I'm missing one.
It's not Mercury.
Oh, thank
Mercury
you.
Goes
Thank you. Yes, it is. Mercury is also currently in Aquarius energy. On top of Mercury being in Aquarius energy, at the end of the month, Mercury is going to be going retrograde. Yeah. But we'll talk about that as we get there.
So we're in the pre-shadow of that, though, now. Yeah.
Yes. And those of you who know anything about Mercury, Mercury is about communication. So again, let's bring it together for a moment. So we have everything in Aquarius, which is all about thinking, overthinking, analyzing, evaluating. And then you have Mercury that's going to be going retrograde. Mercury is communication. So what are we saying to ourselves? What is the internal dialogue that we are having with ourselves? I really need to turn around and tell my internal dialogue to shut the hell up.
Disband the committee.
Yes, they're not. My inner voice needs to go on vacation for the entire period of all these planets being in Aquarius.
I could have used that the entire month of December.
So that is our cosmic forecast for today. I'm hoping it was uplifting for each and every one of you. I hope I gave you some things to think about. But really, with all kidding aside, every one of us needs to do our part so we can all stay in a high vibration energy. So start focusing on how you would really like to see everything around you in the world, because if each and every one of us did it on an individual basis, where we start focusing on what it is we truly want to have, as opposed to what we don't want to have, we'll see more of those wonderful things we want to have. So that's my takeaway for you guys today.
Awesome. Awesome. Joanne, thank you so much for that. I was reading an article earlier this week that it was a lot of what you just said, but they really focused on the fact that the Age of Aquarius officially starts tomorrow, which also coincidentally, or maybe not quite so coincidentally, happens to be the inauguration day in the U.S.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm looking at all of these things that are converging, from the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction back at the winter solstice to them entering Aquarius together, pretty much hand in hand, to the revolution of, maybe that's not the best word for it, but the advancement of the process for the leadership of our country. All of these things are coming in at the same time. This is really a phenomenal time to be alive. And
yeah, definitely.
Thank you for helping us understand it.
It's a very high energy time for us to be alive. It's a very high energy time for us to really step into what we actually were born and chose to be reincarnated in this lifetime to really do. Where it's really about, it's time for those who might have a 9 to 5 that are not happy in their 9 to 5 to start stepping into their purpose.
Right.
And this is the energy. And I always like to say the universe will definitely play a part if one is really not ready to do it on their own.
Yeah.
The universe will definitely step in. And I have two ways of looking at the universe here. The universe will do one or two things for anyone who's not ready. Those who are ready, the universe are going to put little wings on you, take you to the end of the cliff, and sort of poke you so you can start to fly to where you got to go. The ones who are not ready, the universe is going to take you to the cliff. There's no wings. And the universe is just going to knock you off that cliff. And then you're going to have to just go, and whatever bumps and bruises and scars you get on the way down, you get. Because that's just how the universe plays. So you have two choices. You can go willingly with the wings, or the universe is going to kick you out. So you get to choose, because we always have a choice.
That's awesome. Is it wrong that in my mind, as you're talking about this, I'm imagining the universe as the two angels from Good Omens? The sweet white angels wanted to give you the wings. The other one's just like, no, out of here.
Exactly. That's exactly how it's going to be. And I'm sure the three of us will have our wings. And we'll be at the edge. And the universe will just very very lightly touch us so we can fly. Because I'm sure the three of us are doing the things we need to do. I'm sure
for the most part.
For the most part.
Yes, I'm sure the three of us are not going to be thrown off that cliff, because it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
Yeah, I've stopped doing that. I've altered taking that route as my option.
Awesome.
And it's really weird, because there are people who will choose to, because they want it their way, and they feel that it has to go this way or no way. So they choose not to want to move forward, and they choose to be in things that don't serve them. So it's like, well, you know what? Yeah, I love it when the universe closes the door on someone's job, and the person continues to reapply for the same damn position. It's like, the universe closed the door on that. Why are you applying for that same position again? It's done. But anyway.
Yeah, for the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
I
Yep.
don't
So
understand.
true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we can get some insight as to why somebody would do that to themselves out of Krista's crystal this week. It's pretty phenomenal.
It is. I absolutely love this crystal. And it is one actually I'm wearing in my ears. I made sure I put them on for today. And then I also have this beautiful piece. It is Amazonite.
Ah, beautiful.
It
Or if you're
is
from England, it's Amazonite.
okay, or Amazonite if you're from England. There you go. But I absolutely, I, I fell in love with this when we lived in Australia, and I loved it from the start. And back in 2017, I wrote this in there. So in when I introduced it on Sunday, I developed and I created this really awesome calendar, really colorful, full of all these crystals, and they were all my crystals. And I sold them, and it was very successful. Feeling like I might do it for 2022. More so, it's really feeling like, oh yeah, yeah. I thought I was going to do it for 2021, but that's a different story. We'll talk about that later. However, I was like, this puppy had its own page, which was, well, they all did. There were 12 of them. But, and it was really funny. I was at the beach, and there is a significance to this story. I was at the beach with my kids, and it was a lovely summer day in Australia. And my son and my sons and daughters were out, swimming, and I was taking photos. And I happened to have this with me, and I pop it in the sand. I just thought I was just gonna, play. And there's this little tiny shell that kind of like popped up and leaned itself the way I had it, and leaned itself on to the stone.
Nice.
And that's the picture that is in there. And the reason why I say that this is kind of a really significant stone, and for that particular day, and for a variety of things, my son actually, my younger son, found himself enveloped by a jellyfish, or several jellyfish.
Oh my.
And yeah, and the tendrils on the jellyfish were about 6 feet long. In any case, but one of the things is this kept him calm as we were removing all of the jellyfish, well, we being the lifeguards, were removing the tendrils of the jellyfish from around him, because I couldn't touch him, and I couldn't really help him other than I gave distant Reiki. And but I was able to hand him this, which is a very good stone. It's a calming stone. So, Joanne, if you have any of this around Amazonite,
Yes, I do.
then it's a really good calming stone, and it helps with that energy balance, because it will calm you and energize you at the same time. The thing that I found, that other than that particular day with my son, that I also found that this particular stone does, is it works with our heart chakra, but in tandem, or at the same time as it works with our throat chakra, which is why I like wearing them as earrings. Because I find that, remember, when you're working with your throat chakra, it's as much about listening as it is about speaking. A lot of people seem to think that it's all about the talking aspect. However, it's also just as much about the listening aspect. And the Amazonite really works with that, and it helps with the listening. And by listening and by using your throat chakra with your heart chakra, this is what I found was really cool, is you start to hear the opportunities that you're otherwise missing. So I found that when I was working with this stone, and I find that when I, have other people work with this stone, that they find that the opportunities, mainly because they start tuning in to a different, they start tuning in to hear it. They actually discover that they happen far more often than when Amazonite wasn't in their life. Mm-hmm. Right? So it is a fantastic stone. And here's something that's kind of fun. Is that its power day is Friday. We always love to have a power day for a stone, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I'm going to start trying to share with you guys is the best way. So there are many different ways of cleaning and clearing stones. And my friend Adam, who is a crystal cohort of mine down in Australia, one of the ways that he likes to teach people to clean stones and clear stones is with the element that it is most connected with. And when he and I first had that conversation, it was like all of a sudden it snapped. I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And so one of the best ways to clean something like Amazonite is with either earth or water, because it's really connected with both those elements. And going to the beach with it, let me tell you, it is. It like brings it up to a different level. It was amazing. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I think that everyone needs to have this stone in their life. It's very easily accessible. And jewelry, because of its hardness, and that's what I wanted to make sure I told you. Sorry. I'm looking at, like we were talking to a friend right before we went on. So I'm a little discombobulated. Okay, so the hardness for this is a 6 to a 6.5, which makes it ideal for jewelry. And it is a great one to wear as a necklace if you're really feeling like you need your voice to be heard, or you feel like you need to balance out that connection between what your heart wants and expressing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, so wonderful piece. I love it. It's fantastic. You'll find that it's not an overly expensive stone to own, and especially if you're going to the Tucson show.
Yeah. It's funny because my earliest influence or exposure to any kind of rocks actually came early in my recovery, because my now ex-husband would make dream catchers with people's recovery medallions in the bottom part and a stone of their choice in the top part. So it was actually my ex-husband that got me interested in pretty rocks, right? And Amazonite was one of the first ones that he kind of went, here, carry this around for a while.
See how you feel.
Yeah. And he would never tell me what it was. He's like, just hang out with it for a while and you tell me what it's for. And that was my crash course in how to, be with crystals and, learn from them, and that what they actually did was real, right? It wasn't a planted, you'll feel much more calmly with this one, or you won't be such a negative, fish wife.
Negative Nelly.
Yeah, negative Nelly with this and planting a seed that, I'm supposed to feel better, So I love this stone because it's calming, it's balancing. And I just love the idea of you wearing them as earrings, because as my philosophy is anything that you're hearing now because of those earrings is going to be smoothed out by that Amazonite coming in. And I just love how the whole system works with you with that. That's phenomenal.
It is. And it's an amazing, I mean, for me, when I teach my crystal courses with people, one of the things I always emphasize is just because a book says one thing does not mean that that's how it's going to work for you. And so I do challenges, and I always am telling folks, come do the challenge, but don't look at books. That's part of the challenge, because I want you to start that connection with your crystals. It's not about what my connection is with crystals, or how it works for me, because it's about your experience. And so, yeah, it is. It's really important. You're right. When we hear, we can be very easily influenced. But when we have that self-discovery, it's far more powerful.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
And I just want to pop in there right now with encouragement to our viewers to visit our sponsor. Sue over at Class Act Imports specializes in Baltic Amber. And she has the best of it. So by all means, reach out to her for that. She may or may not be able to let you know a really good in the group kind of person that you can also get the Amazonite
or Amazonite, yes,
from as well. But failing that, of course, you can always head over to everythingjustrocks.com and check out their selection with Athena as well. So let's talk about some magic words. I don't know what is going on with my accents today, but man, I'm having fun with them. Today we're going to talk about conscious intention, right? And I try to make all of these things kind of blend together, and I'm hoping to do that today as well with Joanne talking about, we're entering into the Age of Aquarius and the things that are on tap for the next couple of days, and the power of Amazonite to keep our negativity at bay, to relax things, and to, kind of balance the energies that we have, dark and light, keeping our focus on what we want to have happen, not the things that, and there's so many of them in our face that we don't want to perpetuate. But I actually want to start talking about this by telling you about a little experiment that I did. And I encourage you all to try this experiment too, because it's kind of fun. So when I was first learning about conscious intention, my first reference with it, of course, is, the cynical comments that we tend to make when we're not woke yet. Like, for example, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That gives us this message of good intentions are not necessarily a good thing. What's going on with that? So I had some unlearning to do, that intentions were actually very powerful, right? And just because, they do have the possibility of not working out the way that you literally intended for them to, doesn't mean that you shouldn't put the power of them behind what you're doing. Case in point, one of my many marriages, God help me, was not going so well, right? And we'd gotten pretty bored with each other, right? And things started to become much more mundane, kind of, to that point in a marriage where you're kind of going, okay, what can I do to spice this up, right? And one of the things that occurred to me was that when my husband and I kissed, it was boring. It was a boring kiss, right? And that's in and of itself is sad, because he was a Scorpio. There should never have been a boring kiss in that relationship the entire way along, right? So there was something there to play with, if you will. So one day I decided to load a kiss with the conscious intention that he received how sexy I thought he was, right? Whoo, girl, I can't tell you what took off from that kiss, okay? No, not for general audiences,
keep it G,
okay?
right?
Yeah, gotta keep it G for general audiences. But that right there kind of sparked this interest in, oh, wow, what fuel intention can be for whatever mundane, tedious stuff that crosses our paths. Okay, so I invite all of you to invoke the power of conscious intention. Okay, and now that's not just a matter of, oh, well, I've got my list of things to do today. We're going to do this with a good attitude. Yeah, that's my conscious intention. No, that's not your conscious intention. In fact, in that situation, your conscious intention is to look like you're trying to be positive while you're hating what you're fucking doing. Okay, so don't do that.
Exactly.
But no, really kind of look into your heart and go, okay, what is the highest and best for all concerned that could come out of this, right? And put that energy into whatever it is that you're doing. If you're packing your kids' lunch, there is absolutely nothing weird or wrong about hands over the sandwich and going, hey, may this nutrify my child. May this bring them energy and love and happiness and satisfaction in a full tummy. Those are conscious intentions infused into the food that your loved ones will ingest. And that's not the only place that you can do that. When my kids leave my house, my conscious intention sends one of my angels with them to watch over them, protect them, and report back if anything happens that I need to know about. I'm not stalking on my kids, but I often know when something has happened to them before they call me. And that's because of my extending my group of protectors out to them with a conscious intention, right? So wherever your interests lie over these next few days as we step into the true age of Aquarius, right? Like, this is happening this solstice, right? We've been talking about it, singing about it for 40 years. This is happening this week, right?
Yes.
Keep your intentions on what is the highest, the best for all concerned, the lightest intention. Invoke in Martin Luther King's inspirational speech about having a dream and what would a world be like if we actually did judge each other on the content of our character as opposed to the what's going on out here, what you can see and judge and discern and condemn, right? Keep your focus on what is the world we want to live in. What does that look like? What does a family that we want to have feel like? Keep your intentions on what it is that you choose to experience and the highest and best version of that. And man, what becomes possible for our world in the age of Aquarius after that will be miraculous. And, like we were talking earlier, the three of us do not critical mass make. It's it's up to you guys to pick up the mantle and run with it. That's going to actually tip us from a world full of really scary things and people to an invitation for those people to show the best parts of themselves, right? An invitation for our constructs and our systems to benefit the individuals and the groups and the communities and the nations and the planet at their own respective levels. And if you do that, and I do that, and Joanne does that, and Krista does that, and you tell a friend and they do that, that's where we get to the 100th monkey. That's where we get to critical mass. Just so in all of this, I beg of you, keep your focus on what you can do. Never look into another's bowl unless to see that they have enough. And don't judge how they're doing it, because that takes you out of your own conscious intention for what's highest, best, and brightest for the planet. So that's pretty much what I have to say today. Keep your conscious intention bright, light, and having fun. And let's see what we can make happen to the world.
Ooh, let's play some magic.
Yes.
I like that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That is. So we now have an announcement to make.
We do.
Yes, we do. I'm going to go because you have it all. Hopefully you might at the right place. I think so. Let me go down.
I've already got the thing on the screen.
Oh, good. Yay. I wanted to say her name right. So Julie Delzell. Okay. Congratulations.
Yay, Julie.
You won.
Awesome stuff. So Krista will be sending out to you, Julie, this amazing little package. Do the Vanna thing for us, Krista.
You get the negative Nelly neutralizing kick along with Sparkle.
Yay!
Because we hit the 100 mark. So I am so excited. If you could please message me, and we can get the addresses, all the just the technical stuff. I need your address.
We are powerful woo-woo, but we have not mastered the nose twinkle yet. So mail it is.
A mail it's going to have to be. And coming from here, hopefully it won't take, too many centuries. I'm kidding.
Hey, at least Christmas is over.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. It's still coming in though. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. We're having a good time with it. And then we have another, for next week, we have another gifty item, and that is going over to you, Miss Joanne.
Yes. I'm excited to share for whomever's going to win the amazing Declutter, Reshape, and Feng Shui book. So this is not your everyday declutter and Feng Shui. There's a lot of magic in this book, and it definitely will help you declutter your home, but more importantly, declutter your mind and really align yourself for all the consciousness that you want to draw into your life. So a lot of magic in this book. And I plus myself, I and another author, Aphrodite, I always say her last name incorrectly, which is Miris. Anybody want to take that?
Marissa.
Thank you. Yes. So she and I collaborated on this amazing book, and there's amazing information in it. So I look forward to whoever gets to win it.
Yay. Awesome. Yay. So here's the rules, right? You got to like 3 Crones in the Woo Woo. You got to comment on the post, give it a like or a love, and say a couple of words in there. And you have to share the post, this broadcast post, from 3 Crones in the Woo Woo out into the world. And if you do those things, if you're a member of 3 Crones in the Woo Woo, you like, comment, and share this broadcast post, you will be entered into the drawing pool for the next week's prize, which is Joanne's Declutter. I always forget that third one. Something in
Declutter, Reshape, and Feng Shui.
Yes. Declutter, Reshape, and Feng Shui. And, I may have a little bit of bias on this, but they launched the book on my show, The Spotlight. So I'm familiar with this book. It's freaking awesome. You really need to take part in this because getting this book free is something you definitely want to do.
And on a side note, the clutter portion of it, the clutter and reshape, that was 10 years in the making before this actually became a book. 10 years. Because originally when I first created the actual book 10 years ago, when I recorded a workshop that I had offered, and when Aphrodite, who transcribed it for me, once she put everything in transcription, I was sitting there reading, and I'm like, there's something missing, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, this isn't ready to be a book yet. 10 years ago, was not ready to be a book yet. We literally did a 2-hour workshop, which was a fantastic workshop, and those who participated got a lot of great results from doing it. But after I sat and read the whole manuscript, I'm like, this is not ready to be a book yet. And then last year, I sat down with Aphrodite, and with all the different things that I've learned over the last 10 years in regards to all my different modalities, everything started coming together. And I'm like, oh my God, my book, it's now ready 10 years later. But yes.
That's phenomenal. I'm so glad you guys finally finished it and put it together.
Yes.
Awesome
yes.
stuff. All right, ladies, let's tell everybody fantastic things about where to watch us in the coming week. Alrighty. So we have, let's see, we are sponsored. Thank you to our sponsors today for Three Crones in the Woo Woo. Dimensional Healing with Krista Ducharme, Creative Command Coaching and Consulting with Gayle Nicholson, that's me, and Wholistic Fitness New York with Joanne Angel Barry Colon. And also, thank you very much to GayleNicholson.com that helps us make all of this happen. Right now, you can watch us pretty much everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, GayleNicholson.com, and we are looking for a new television type distribution area. So if you know anyone along those lines, have them reach out to me, Gayle Nicholson, and we'll have a little talk with them if you don't mind. So ladies, any final words for our viewers today?
Just keep being the best version of you, because ultimately there's only one of you and everyone else is taken. So just focus on that aspect. I really feel like that is something that we all need to be reminded of.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. I love it. How about you, Joanne? Final thoughts?
I think I want to leave it off with recognize the things that you're really great at. And if you focus on those things you're really great at, you'll see more of that show up.
Phenomenal. And that's it for all of us. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week ahead, and we'll see you again next Tuesday. Take care. Bye.